Hello, everyone. I'm Reverend Jeremy Wood,
What's going on, everybody? I'm Reverend Albert Serino.
and we're coming to you today with our first live stream together, and we want to bring up some topics, and we figured we're going to give it up to Divine Energy to lead us where we're going to go. Um, but it's our first time getting together to talk to you all about our mindset on spirituality. I run Balanced by Oils Holistic Fellowship, and then he runs
The Good Vibe Tribe Holistic Ministry.
So together we have a lot of the same clientele that will come to us, but we work in different ways. So we were trying to find a way to express that to people about how finding a holistic path is a lot like finding your favorite tea. You're probably going to find it by accident, and then you're going to probably find something that you stick with and you kind of go with. So your healer or your shaman you might find in a random spot when you're not necessarily looking for it. And as well, each one is going to kind of be an individualized connection when you have a relationship, because as healers, we don't do a clear-cut thing. Reverend Albert and I were talking, and we realized that we have some of the same goals, and we get about it from different ways. So now that I've introduced it, I'll let him kind of start and give a brief intro onto how the Good Vibe Tribe
The Good Vibe Tribe
Ministry, I always mess up all the
GVT.
words, the GVT, if you will, goes about working with their clients and working with different people that want to do some natural healing. So I'll let him take it away for now.
Right. So the approach that we use at with the tribe is one that's more of a understanding of a personal experience, a shamanic view, if you will, more indigenous in nature, an understanding that it's our personal relationship with the divine that connects us to spirit, that connects us with spirit, and allows us to put that whole in holism. It's we work on the physical body, the mental body, and then the connection with spirit kind of lacks sometimes. But from this approach that we work with spirit directly, and then manifest changes in the physical as a product of that.
So give me a rundown of what it would be like if I were to come to you. If I were to come and say someone was like, hey, you should go talk to Al. I've heard he does some good stuff that you might kind of vibe with. What what should I expect? Like, should I have to wear special clothing? Should I have to bring
No.
water
You
with
come
me?
as you are.
Should I have to?
It's a come as you are. It's a
Yeah.
come as you are kind of thing. Just it's a very personal environment. I try to be. I try to keep everything relaxed. It depends on how serious the situation, but we try to keep everything in a calm setting, and work to maintain that. And it's something that's not always easy for us to just be calm and relax. But even as we have the interaction, no matter what level it is, we try to stay happy and together. But if you were to come to me, I would first, we talk a little bit, just kind of.
I was just showing them how they could get a hold of you. They
Oh,
could still listen without seeing your
nice,
face.
thank
but...
you. I'm sorry. um, so yeah, I usually approach things more from a meditative standpoint first. So we would usually work with going into a meditative state, talking a little bit, kind of just having a one-on-one get to know each other. And I think that relationship opens the door for what else needs to be approached, whether it be physical, um, whether it be some kind of mental practice, or
So I've
yeah, it's a personal thing. So it's really hard to just say that somebody could come in and I have like a format for how I would approach someone. It really is a one-on-one relationship and what each individual might need, and what I could provide to fill that gap.
I've seen videos online where they do drumming and they do some oming and stuff like that. Is that something where do you have any kind of rituals or sort of
I
extra instruments that make your healing special? I know I have more crystals, and I use crystal healing, and I use essential oils, and I do some drumming, but what is kind of like your toolbox, if you will,
Right.
that you might go to?
Well, my physical toolbox is usually I work with Young Living essential oils. Um, I would work with my drum as well as my rattle. I usually enjoy drum medicine. It's usually as simple as meditating, and I work with some rituals and techniques to start moving energy within the body. Uh,
I've had it done. It's pretty cool.
yeah, it feels really good. I mean, the drum really has its own personality and its own medicine. But yeah, I usually like to use the drum as along with oils. Um, I like to incorporate elements of nature usually.
Yeah.
In all of my nature, if I were to be able to have an office just in nature constantly, and I plan to have something similar to that in the future, most of that of healing I believe could take place in a natural setting. A lot easier than if it were to just be at somebody's in a suburb or in a city, something like that setting. So I think that incorporating nature into any of my rituals or practices for meditating or moving energy throughout the body is very imperative. Um, yeah, my other things, mental tools are, they're shamanic in nature. The imagination, using creativity, using the power of dreams to change reality, to work with your circumstances to bring about change. One thing that I like to work to help people understand is their own personal power. It's what in a natural state in the human body we are healing. We are in a constant state of healing, and what actually stops that is our own limiting beliefs. That we can't be healed, or that we have a certain condition that can't be cured, and that stops the healing process. So what I usually like to help people understand in whatever way is needed is that their own personal power that they have, and I'm not trying to say don't use like completely stop seeing doctors or do whatever. I encourage you to get other opinions and other things, but in the meantime work in a conscious way to understand what's inside of you and what you're capable of and what your body wants to do naturally. So that's
Nice.
that's pretty much my approach. What do you got going on here? I always talk to you, and you always seem to have something really new and unique.
Different.
Yeah, it's a really interesting experience to hear some of your stories.
No, it's kind of like what you're saying. You have a few tools, and you try and get connected with people at whatever level they need. So if I like, again, I vibe with a lot of earth energy. I like the stones from the earth, and using some of the balancing energy of crystal healing. It works with chakras. I do a lot of anatomy education, so sometimes I can look and literally see where someone's like heart looks like that part of their chest is like collapsed in, and I'm thinking like, wow, there's an organ underneath there that might be alluding to some of these other problems, like your lungs are being crushed if your weight is literally so locked in. And so our live stream that we talked about with the five element theory before,
Yeah.
I showed the body postures and the body positions of literally setting up your organs. So sometimes I just you look at someone and you can see their body language where they might be hurt or they might be locked up or they literally carry the weight of the world on their shoulders because they're just like getting through the day trudging. And then you can well, at least I do. I think of the biology underneath there, and I'm like,
Right.
no, those there's no blood flow to those muscles. Like those muscles
Right.
lead to your brain, and they support your head. Oh no, that could be why your head literally is in a fog because it's floating in front of you, and your muscles are literally struggling to hold on to it.
The benefits of posture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's that, and then, but then you have to really work with people's internal energy in a way to, again, when you get that feeling of joy or pride or happiness in something, it only stays until the environment changes. So when you have to find those feelings again and hold on to them, then you find the ways that help you hold on to them. So if it's a smell, and that helps you, get into that mindset of like, oh, this is that feel good, here we go.
Yeah.
And that's enough to kickstart your day and charge you through it. Then you get that ability to reconnect to yourself. And again, it's what smell works for you. It's not going to be every specific one gets a specific essential oil when doing aromatherapy. And two, it's the same thing for diet. What are you eating? Like, you're not a plant. You don't grow off of photosynthesis outside. Like, you grow from what you put inside your body. And if you're angry and you're working out, you're going to be working stress into your body.
Yeah.
And if you're working out frustration, you're literally going to be angrily working it out, and you might injure yourself doing your relaxation or your outlet. And so again, trying to find the ways to help people individually think about it, because everyone at the gym could be having a completely different mindset for why they're there. But they're all at the gym and they're all working on themselves. So again, it shows that there's not necessarily that one kind of
that one approach,
path and approach. So we try and do resources. So I've put some online. So if you guys hop on over to Google and you find that in the middle here, around the middle. I guess the middle's the middle. And you can go to Facebook and you can find see that we're trying to either share resources or provide resources for people to again come back to themselves. There's my Reiki master, Vicky, that I've been working with for a long time. She's really helped me in a lot of verbiage, and she found a guy named Matt Kahn that a lot of people spiritually listen to and speak of, and he always speaks of spirituality as an invitation back to yourself. You're sitting in a quiet space thinking about your time and what do you need in that time and in that space. And sometimes I think the goal of our job is to help you find a space to do that work in. Sometimes we're in a society now where you have to pay a friend to be a friend, and that's therapy. We call that therapy, paying someone to sit down and listen for a little bit and try not be a jerk to your heart's desires and your trials and tribulations and give you something to work through. And I have a toolbox, Al's got a toolbox, and so if you buzz more with a bearded man or a bald-headed man, you can go between the two of us. But then we also have, our own friends, and again, more Polynesian traditions, and that's kind of the path that he walks, and I walk a more woodsy tradition in the mountains. So I like spruces, and I like those kind of earthy, patchouli, piney smells. And a lot of my people that come around, they kind of vibe with that, and it's funny to see that in other groups of people like different essential oils. So I get together with my friends of Tristan and Johnny and Felicia, and all of their oils are like, the whole group might be more of like a floral group or more of like a citrus group, and it's just
it's funny to
see
how
they all
people
vibe
in different spots. And that's cool. And I think it's fun because we approach, we have such similar views on things, but we approach our methodology, we approach, our clients or just our lives in different ways, and it's still fun where we match and we teach each other stuff that one knows, the other doesn't, and then we just gain knowledge from each other all the time. One thing I think it's going to be fun is when we start doing what we're looking into with the tribe, is to start doing some big drum circles, get some a lot of old practices back, incorporating some instruments, nice instruments, dancing, some of the flow arts, some fire arts, things like that. And
expression and movement.
Just completely bringing out that form of a little bit more on the radical side of self-expression, and just allowing
fire dancing. It's for the more spiritually badass, I guess.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And it's just it's just a matter of allowing that energy to flow at that deep of a level, and that's that's going to be more so the tribe's congregation.
That's connected to this, though. Being connected with a flaming device. I did martial arts for a little while in a bow staff, swinging a bow staff around your head, and learning that in nunchucks, you definitely hit yourself in the face a lot. And so,
I mean,
fire's going to take more finesse than
the flow arts.
I
really enjoy watching performances with flow arts.
And you do gloving when you go to some of your expressive festivals, and
or I staff as well.
So
I use the staff, so I'm working into the fire. I mean, I have some friends that are amazing at the stuff, but I've
recently been thinking about flame work and trying to. My friend had a torch, and I just was like, she's like, you probably shouldn't set it on fire.
Yeah,
but you can work with it, and by and large, I hit myself with it twice, and if it was on fire, the house would be on fire.
Yeah, it's an interesting practice, but I think in a sense it commands a certain respect with the spirit of fire and working with that on that level. You know, working with that force of nature on that level.
So I'm clearly still too excited about it.
It's a personal, like such a personal thing. Yeah, and it is, and it's fun too. You know, I mean, there's all the spiritual stuff that's involved with it, but it's all fun. You know, it's about it. You know, celebrating life and enjoying doing these things. But yeah, that's where I think we'll get together. The tribe will meet the Balanced by Oil's Holistic Fellowship crew, and we'll kind of have a little drum circle going on. Get everybody together.
Yeah.
Soon to come this year. We got a lot of good stuff coming as our forces combine.
Yeah. Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
Right. Earth.
Wind, fire, water, and then what's the last one? Heart.
Heart. Always heart.
Heart.
All right, guys. So that seems like it's a good spot to wrap it up.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by.
Peace.
Peace.